Good afternoon, everyone. This is a new episode of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host Antoine, sitting at the park across from Nordstrom's near the Wrigley Building in my sweet home, Chicago, on this Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. Just chilling and relaxing at 3:48 p.m. Central Standard Time. You all know the time. I'm just saying that. And I had a nice little decent day today. At work, wasn't too busy, wasn't too stressful, but as I do one job, I'm just doing a nice little quick podcast show before I start my second one. And I hope everybody's enjoying this nice, cool, breezy Thursday afternoon. The weekend is coming. Memorial Day weekend will be here, so then we all know, which will be Monday, of course, Memorial Day. Just want to get all the pleasantries out the way, say how everybody's doing. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing fine. And, having me a little frappuccino from Starbucks. Got you typing a blog on the Right Info blog on WordPress. Go to that, check it out. See what I'm talking about, read what I'm talking about. But, with all that being said, I'm going to deliver this new podcast episode. It is the vitality of life through sacrifice. Now, here's a question, ladies and gentlemen. Why is sacrifice so vital to life? Now, that's a good question, and my immediate reaction is that sacrifice is vital to life, simply because it's the price to be paid by anyone if he or she is to achieve what is desired. In short, without sacrifice, it's impossible to, for any human to, do anything, record any meaningful growth, make improvements, or achieve any results. This is the reason why there is a saying that goes, if you want something you never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Damn, that's a damn good, powerful word of advice. I love that. I might use that. I'll remember that. I'll keep that in mind. Now, I'm not naive. I know we live in a world dominated by mentality and, and a culture of instant gratification, a culture of, cutting corners to get ahead in life, a culture of entitlement and laziness to a greater extent. Be it as it may, my submission is that we all need to be honest with ourselves, with regard to the following principles. And these are a couple of principles I'd like to discuss, these two examples. The first one is, nothing is of true value, nothing's worthwhile is earned and maintained legally without sacrifice. Excuse the notification buzz. I meant to tune that down, mute that, but I forgot. But don't worry, it'll be probably blocked while I deliver the podcast, when I do the editing and all that stuff. But the second one is, no matter how smart, charming, knowledgeable, and wise a human being is, he or she will always reap what they sow. Yeah, reaping what a person can sow, it's really something. They'll get his or her own comeuppance. At times, we all forget the meaningful progress and achievements that don't come by accident. They really don't. Therefore, just dreaming, wishing, or desiring something that's not enough. For some, because the culture highlighted above, these often choose not to follow the process. They chase, they choose not to follow it at all, not to sacrifice. Now, by sacrifice, I mean surrendering your personal comfort, personal cravings, and pleasures by putting, in the required time, effort, and energy in learning, applying, practicing, and working, smart or not harder in order to, legally achieve which is they seek. All in all, as vital as sacrifice is to life, what is more vital is, everyone, is adherence, quote-unquote obedience to principles. For this reason, one can sacrifice all he or she wants, but his principles numbers 1 and 2 above that are disregarded. Nobody pays attention to those principles. No matter how long one will try to avoid, serious negative consequences, while the outcome will come in a negative way either way it go. No matter how you do, no matter what you do, whatever sacrifices you make or whatever sacrifices you're trying to make, there's always going to be some stumbling block in the situation to keep a person to getting to where he or she wants to go. Oh, I'm always, excuse me for a little pause because I am drinking my Frappuccino, and, for every little sip I take and every little gulp I have, I'm still speaking. But the Frappuccino is pretty good, but not to get off the topic. The main thing is sacrifice. If you want something in life, if you want something real bad, yes, you have to make sacrifices. I mean, sacrifices aren't bad, and there's those people who say they're not good because you're giving up what you really like, or you're giving up something that so desired you can't have it because you have to appease one person or the other, which in a sense isn't fair to you. But they'll see it as, oh, okay, I appreciate what you did. You sacrificed for me. But the question that has to be asked and answered is, once the sacrifice is made, what am I getting? What is the benefit of that? This is what I would call sacrificial benefits. My definition of sacrificial benefits is this. Excuse me for stumbling, but I was still drinking. Sacrificial benefits is my personal definitions as, if I'm sacrificing something, if I'm, have to give up my time, effort, or whatever I'm doing to appease the other person, to get what the other person wants, that he or she wants, how am I benefiting? What am I getting in return? A form of gratitude, like a thank you. Yeah, that's all good and said, but gratitude doesn't always, it is good, but in a sense it doesn't do anything. It doesn't, create anything. It doesn't bring me anything. It doesn't bring a person nothing. You want to benefit. People say, or I say, I like to sacrifice, but I would like to benefit from those sacrifices. Yeah, there is the greater good, but the question is the greater good enough? What does the greater good do for the person who's making the sacrifices? That's a question to answer. I mean, I don't think it's an offensive, hurtful, or demanding question. It's just a question that makes sense, and it's a legitimate answer to it. I mean, anybody can answer it depending on who you are or what situation you're in. That sort of thing. I mean, I've sacrificed a lot over the years, and I've gained some things, and I didn't gain anything. But at the end of the day, there are people who say, oh, well, I appreciate what you did. You sacrificed for me, I appreciate that. That's good and said, but what does your appreciation do for me? How do I benefit from your appreciation? Does appreciation put food on the table or pay the bills, or put roofs over people's heads? No, it doesn't. Well, money does that. But it's the principle of the appreciation that should be shown in the form of sacrifice being carried out. That's what I'm saying. Sacrifice is good. It's decent. But you also would like to, benefit from the sacrifice. Get a little something in return. A thank you is good. Gratitude is good. But sometimes there are people in this world who feel that gratitude and thank yous are not enough. It doesn't do anything. They're nothing but words. Gratitude doesn't give you what you like. It doesn't do anything for you. So what's the point of going through the sacrificial situation if you're not going to get any results through that sacrifice or from that sacrifice? But it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword in life, no matter how you put it. So this is just some words of thought as far as the vitality of sacrifice and what it means, and the I don't want to say pros and cons, but the thoughts, the ideas, the differential viewpoints of sacrifice. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it beneficial? Is it for the greater good or what? Those are various questions that very much need answers to. You can't just go with a question without an answer. There's got to be some kind of answer, whether explanatory, one-worded, or whatever it is. So I just, want to give you all a note on this podcast topic on what sacrifice is, what it means, and how it benefits. Like I said, I've benefited some through sacrifice. I have sacrificed. Sometimes I got things, sometimes I didn't. Was I hurt? No. But, sometimes it wouldn't hurt to receive something from that sacrifice, no matter what it is. A thank you is good, gratitude is good, appreciation is good. That's all good and said. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, was I really worth the thought of making that sacrifice and not receiving anything in return? Yeah, like I said before, thank you is good, gratitude is good. But sometimes in life that's not always enough. It really isn't. But, that's just my opinion, That's my factual opinion. And that's how I really feel as far as that's concerned. So far as what I'm talking about, what I'm discussing is concerned. So with that being said, I'm going to end this episode of the Right Info Podcast Show on a positive note. Yes, sacrifice is good, but you also want to see your worth as far as that sacrifice. You want to feel your worth while making that sacrifice. Is it vital to life? Yes, it's vital to life. But then again, everybody doesn't live forever. You can do all the sacrificing and still not see any end results. That's the issue that that breaks the camel back. That make things, feel a sense of mental uncomfortability. And this is something I want to just discuss on this show. Hope everybody tunes in to this episode. This will be season 2, episode 19 of the Right Info Podcast Show. This is your host, Antoine. Hope everybody's doing good and doing well. Think about what I said. Think about the questions that I asked. Feel free to comment, share the podcast, like the comment. Like the podcast. Take the time out to do whatever. Give your own viewpoint. Give an answer, a solution, a thought, an idea, suggestion. I take anything. So I'm going to say goodbye. Hope everybody will do well. With this weekend coming up, I may have another podcast show coming up, topic coming up this coming Saturday, because I did one last Saturday, and that was posted. So go to that one, listen to that one, get the information or get the knowledge that you need from any of my podcasts that I do. It'd be great. Give me some feedback. Give me some opinion. Give me some thoughts, ideas, suggestions. I'll follow through. I'm a fair, frank person. I listen to reason. But, that reason has to be, in a sense, not one-sided. Reasonable where it makes sense so I can get the better feel of that reason. So I am, going to say goodbye. I hope everybody takes care of themselves. Have a good weekend, even though this is Thursday, Friday Eve, of course, as we all call it. I'm going to say so long. Enjoy the rest of my evening, even though I may have to work tonight. Well, I have to go into work tonight and make more donuts, of course. But hey, it puts money in the pocket and gets the bills paid. So who am I to complain? What am I to say? I am saying so long. You all take care of you all selves. This is the end of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host, Antoine. I love you all. You all take care. Bye-bye. And take good care of each other as well.